Hello, hi everyone. So we are about to start. We just 8 minutes late. All the people will come, but let's start. Otherwise, it's gonna be too late. So first of all, thank you for coming. See some new faces. A lot of our old guys that they always come. So may I ask who's new? Who's coming for the first time? Okay. Interesting. So it's I don't know if it's a good sign or not. We always have new people. So that could mean that either people that come the first time then they never decide to come back again, or maybe it's because people, maybe this is a new event, so it's good to see that the community is growing. So for today, it's the first event where the community, the tech community, meets the startup community, and this is possible thanks to our sponsor KX. So we have Jessica.
Okay, hi everybody. I'm Jessica. I'm Italian, but I work in Northern Ireland. KX is based in Newry, which is a small city close to Belfast. I work as a global marketing executive within the company, and Kyle will explain you about our technology and our company just in a very little snapshot. We have a very good established position within the financial market, but we're trying right now to expand in other verticals like utilities, retail, telco, manufacturing, whatsoever. So my job within the team is try to spread brand awareness and try to let everybody know that we exist, and that it's up to you to decide how good we are and or how bad we are.
You want to come here?
No.
So you want to go on the screen?
No, not really.
No.
Kevin Gibbon, SVP of Sales for KX. So really glad that we got invited to the opportunity here to talk and present and hear what is going on in Milan, the tech scene. So thank you very much and very welcome. And I'm looking forward to all the presentations
So
tonight.
yeah, we will have a nice aperitivo, networking already afterwards, so we'll have time to meet each other. So I wanted to give you a few news, a few updates. First of all, let's say thank to all the organization crew. So can the organizers stand up? So please go and speak to them after the event. This is the first time that we're actually doing the event as a team. So we have a very good plan for a lot of initiatives that we'll propose in the next months. One of it is finally we got our web presence. So I invite everyone to go on the website www.datasciencemilan.org and let us know if you have any feedback, if you like the event, if there is anything we need to add. And we got our first diamond sponsor. It's Open Search Network from Aldo Razzino. I don't know if you know the company or Aldo. They do provide a very high quality recruiting service for data science, big data, artificial intelligence, machine learning, all of the job roles in this area. And they do mainly in Italy and also abroad. So you will have time to meet Aldo and Open Search Networking probably in the next events. So if your company or anyone that would be interested of becoming a sponsor, please check out on our website all of the different packages. So it could be just sponsoring one single event, or we also have a long-term partnerships. Then we have Ricardo over there. who is actually the newsletter manager. And this is something I strongly invite you to join. I try to send an invitation for the email addresses that I collected, but you see, today we just have 235 subscribers. The community is more than 500, so feel free to join. Some of them may have joined, but maybe the newsletter is in your spam folder. So please double check if you got this digest. It's only sent once a month, and it contains all of the updates about next events, if you got promotion discounts, or some other events or other communities that we think are appropriate to share with in our community. This is the calendar, so save the dates. We will be the 15th of May in Bergamo, and it's going to be a talk about TensorFlow and Spark in R. If you want to know more, you can speak with Serena over there. She's the organizer of this event. It's going to be in Bergamo, by the way. So we would like to extend our community, not just in Milan, but let's try to be also in the neighborhood. Then the 18th of May is not announced, but we plan to do an event with Think Big. And then on the 7th as well is not announced, but we already set the dates. We're going to have an event with Asso Lombarda, and it's going to be about the role of the data scientist in the Industry 4.0. This is a very cool use case, and also an applied use case. And then we need to define, but maybe at the end of June we will have an event with the data reply. So, yeah, if you want to send your proposal, if you have a talk, I don't know, whatever event or initiative you like to propose, you can go on the website, call to speakers, so you can send your proposal. This is one of the promotions that, as a Data Science Milan, as a community, we negotiate discounts and we offer to our members. This one is in Berlin at the end of June. It's about the Chatbot Summit. They're even looking for speakers. So if you have, if you like to apply, then let me know. I'll get in touch with the organizer. And the same for the Machine Intelligence Summit in Amsterdam. We've got 20% discount. It's going to be 2 days conference. And they will also look. They also look for speakers. So if you are interested to give a talk, let me know. Then now I'd like to give the microphone to Gabriele, who's our community startup manager, or I don't know how you want to call it.
Wow, it sounds like a cool position actually. Okay, now well, let's say this one is quite an experiment, this kind of events, because for the first time we bring together in the same events one technical talk, so pure technical talk with the startup. So we started searching to create a startup network, or at least going through the different startup networks here in Italy, searching for companies that are starting their own business in all those are actually more than the topic. I mean, you know better than me all the topics that are currently on as one of the main arguments when they talk about startups, so big data, data science, and so on. The things that was interesting for us, it's try to bring close to us the startups that are working on these topics. And actually, if the question is which is the value that bring having close to us startups working in data science, is actually we create a great connection for people trying to make business on this topic, so that maybe they are searching for some skills, competencies, or are interested in works, experiments that are developed by us. And on the other side, we think that actually it's important to discover that there are people creating something, starting from zero, sometimes with idea based on how to use the data and how to implement data science. So we are really happy to have here this evening 4 startups, all of them Italian, actually at least with founder Italians or close to them. Conio, that is actually bringing the virtual currency to the mass markets. After that, Openly, that actually is a consultant company working in data science. They are developing their own data products. Smarkety, that actually aims to automate part of the marketing. Mercurius, that is actually bringing service investments based on sport betting, quite a curious things. And Connexa, that is creating a platform to manage community based on from our point of view, the strong idea that you have the full ownership on the data. So there will be for each of them 50 minutes pitch. After that, one using the voting tool on Slack, you can give just a quick feedback to them from 0 to 10 on how you like it the pitch. The feedback is a gift, so tomorrow there will be a form for the feedback on generally on the event. So if you can take 5 minutes to fill some question for them, for sure for all the startups are really useful, all the feedbacks. Okay.
And also for the tech talk as well.
Yeah, for the tech talk as well. I don't know if it's coming to the Slack users one test, but it's really simple, so you will see something like from 0 to 10, simply click on the vote and we will receive it. So that's all. And something more, Jamal?
Yeah, so the feedbacks, so you will receive this form, so please take some time to fill it, because it's our startups, they hear, because they want to hear some feedback from us, and also about tech talk. And so feel free, so please share whatever you want. You can take pictures, write, you can comment. Those are our social channels. We are on Twitter, Facebook. There is a streaming on YouTube now, live, and we also have our private group on LinkedIn. So we encourage everyone to join. That said, you will find this. All of the slides and the recordings will be uploaded. The slides on SlideShare, and the recordings will automatically be available on YouTube. So thank you very much, and enjoy the event. So I think it's up to you, but if you want to be in the recording, I think like that. But then I think it's complicated to change slides. So it's up to you.
I'll just jump down. Thanks. Hi everyone. First of all, I'd like to introduce myself. My name's Corcoran, and I work as a software engineer / data scientist for KX Systems. Firstly, I'd like to thank the organisers, Data Science Milan, for hosting this event and giving me the opportunity to speak. And also thanks to Talent Garden Murano for hosting the event. It's a really nice location.
Could you speak louder?
Yeah, no problem.
I think you can, the volume, you can set the volume up.
Micro is off.
Hello? Is that better? Hello?
Yeah.
There we go.
If you press up, that's the maximum.
Yeah. I'll just have it closer. I'll try and speak slowly as well throughout the presentation, just in case it's hard to understand my accent. So just a bit about myself. So as I said, I'm a software engineer / data scientist with KX Systems, and I work with the technology that we have within KX on a daily basis. I'm from Dublin originally, in Ireland, and I studied a bachelor's in pure maths and applied maths, which is common in the KX community. A lot of people come from a mathematics background because the programming language is heavily mathematics influenced. But I work at the moment in London. So I'll just give you a quick overview of the company and a brief history lesson as to where KX came from. Could I just get a quick show of hands of who's heard of KX before or used KX/Q? Is anyone in the audience? Okay, so not many. So KX is actually a part of a larger company now called First Derivatives. And First Derivatives was founded in 1996 by a man called Brian Conlon. And he started off his career in the financial industry, working first for Morgan Stanley, and then he moved on to work for SunGard. And then he started First Derivatives. Initially, it was mainly a consulting company, but it's gradually progressed to become more and more tech-focused. KX Systems was started by a person called Arthur Whitney in 1993, and Arthur Whitney came up in the tech community under a man called Ken Iverson. So Ken Iverson developed a programming language called APL, and he actually won the Turing Award for this from the ACM. So in 2009, First Derivatives signed an OEM contract with KX to start developing more products that would use this technology as a base. And then in 2014, First Derivatives actually acquired KX. So over that period of history, the company was mainly focused on the financial markets as the main ground where it used its products. But now, as Jess mentioned earlier, we're starting to expand into other verticals, so I'll talk a bit about that later. So just to give you a brief overview of the sort of clients and industries that KX work with, you can see here the financial history that the company has had can be seen with companies like Morgan Stanley, HSBC, Fidelity, but some of the newer industries that we're moving into can also be seen, such as Purdue Pharma on the top left. So what is KX technology at the heart of it? So at the heart of KX technology, there is a column-based time series database called KDB+, and KDB+ has an inbuilt programming language called Q. So KDB+ is constantly ranked as the world's fastest time series database. And this isn't really surprising when you think of how the technology was developed from the start. So Arthur Whitney developed what was known as K originally, and which became Q and KDB+, from working within banks, specifically dealing with market data, which essentially is where big data almost originated from. The financial industry was using massive amounts of volume and massive amounts of data on a daily basis that wasn't really seen in other industries. So from the very beginning, the focus of KDB+ has been to be fast and very performant when dealing with large data sets. So it's one of the nice things about this database is that you can perform streaming analytics with both real-time and historic data all within the same platform. It can do all of those things without needing lots of other bits of technology to come into play. It's also, Q itself is an interpreted language. It's functional and it's array-based. And Q and KDB+ are multi-platform, so there's no specific operating system that it needs to run on. It runs on Windows, various flavors of Linux, OS X, and it's really easy to set up once you've got the binary files. So, and I might do a quick demo of doing that later on. So, just saying that Q and KDB+ can perform streaming analytics with real-time historic data all on the same platform is great, but how does that actually get implemented is what would be interesting from a technical perspective. So this is sort of a standard real-time architecture diagram of how one of these platforms could be set up. So if we just look at this, on the top layer, there's a group of processes that are labeled FH. These are called feed handlers. So in any real-time system, there's going to be some data source. And the idea of the feed handler is to take that data source and map it into a schema that's useful for Q to use. So it's to make that data as optimal to be used by KDB Plus by getting to grips with the strengths of the language. And then the feed handlers don't necessarily have to be programmed in Q or KDB. They can be programmed in any language that you want, as long as it publishes out the data in a format that's useful for KDB. So, for example, one of the projects that I'm working on, we have feed handlers that are written in C++. The feed handlers then publish out the data to what's called a ticker plant. And a ticker plant is essentially a queue process that manages subscriptions for data. So it takes in all the data from the feed handlers and then it checks to see which downstream processes have subscribed to specific short data sets. And then it just publishes them out. So it's not really a smart process. It just takes in data, passes it on to different processes. This data gets passed down to what's known as an RDB on the next layer, which is a real-time database. So these are queue processes again, which are set up and they just gather the data that's coming in throughout the day. They have it there ready to be used and ready to be manipulated, and it can be queried very fast because all of that data sits in memory. There's also a line in the diagram that goes straight from the TP down to the PDB, which is known as a persisting database, which writes all of your data to disk as it comes in from the feed and the feed handlers. So you never end up in a situation where you've lost a ton of data, because you always have it written to disk immediately before anything goes wrong. We also see an RGE, or a real-time engine, which can also be called a CEP, or Complex Event Processing Engine. And this is really one of the key components in getting streaming analytics. So a real-time engine takes in the data from the ticker plant, but then it performs some form of calculation on it. So one example would be, just going with a financial example, you take in a load of price data for the day and you calculate the average price, and you have it sitting there ready to be queried or ready to be published out or streamed to another process. Underneath, on the bottom layer, is a HDB, or historic database. So the PDB writes down to disk all of the data that's coming in off the real-time feed into a historic database. So you end up with separation between what's in memory and what's on disk. And what links these processes together is called a gateway. So a gateway is essentially a queue process that maintains TCP/IP connections to all of the other processes within a specific platform, so that it can request data from all of these different processes and bring it back, merge it all together, and then return it to a user who's interested in querying it. Or that would be in a request-reply situation. You could set it up so that you have something like a gateway that's publishing to downstream subscribers, which would give you streaming analytics. So why is KDX technology useful? Because it's very, very high performance. Q is inbuilt with the actual database technology. So there's no expensive data passing occurring between the client and server, where you need to pull your data from your database and actually use some other language to manipulate it. It's all done within the same database. It's one of the only fully 64-bit database systems. And it has a timestamp as a native data type, so it's really easy to manipulate time series data. and it's really quick to develop with Q because it's interpreted. If you don't want to try and learn a new language, that's fine. There's multiple open source APIs that can be used to interact with KDB-based systems. There's a few listed there in the bottom left, but on the code.kh website, which I'll bring up later, there's a list of multiple more programming languages that are useful. So here's just some performance snippets of how fast KDB is with dealing with large volumes of data. I won't go through all of them because the slides will be sent out afterwards and you can have a look through them. Some of the most important ones are the scalability of the product. So KDB is able to run on a Raspberry Pi, but you could also scale it up to a massive number of cores in some form of Amazon Web Service. It also has a really, really tiny binary file that runs the whole core platform. And it's so small that on modern CPUs you can fit it in the cache basically, and it's really fast for doing calculations because you don't have to waste time passing data from A to B. This size file is about a tenth of an iTunes song. And then just even the one at the top, it's able to process around 4.2 million records per second per core. But just having a command line based tool isn't really useful for data science unless you can get something useful out of it, unless you can get some good insights. So here are some of the tools that are available in KX that help you work with KDB. So we've got Stream for KX, which is basically like process templates for setting up all of those processes that were on the previous architecture diagram. So there's templates for ticker plants, RDBs, HTTPs. And then Control for KX is a framework for actually interacting with those processes. So there's a whole host of functions that you can use to interact with them and actually make them do useful things, because just having the templates isn't really that useful. Then Analyst for KX is an IDE which can be used to explore the data sets that you have within your database. And then Dashboards for KX is a visualization layer that just goes like a skin on top of the data, and it runs within Tomcat server. So if you were to think about how all of this stacks up, on the bottom here, what this blue rectangle would represent would be KDB and Q. Then in the middle there, we've got those tools that I just talked about, and then the grey layer would be what you can build with all of that together. So I'll just go through a little case study that demonstrates how you can use KDB. So the New York Taxi and Limousine Company released 6 years worth of taxi ride data, and what this data contained was information like fares, pickup locations, drop-off locations, what the weather was like, how many passengers were in the car. And Ted Schneider did a blog on this that visualized this data. So this is just a picture that he had in his blog, visualizing the pickup locations and the drop-off locations. And you can see it really highlights where the airports are in New York. But then what's more interesting is a guy called Mark Litwinchik went and then analyzed this data using KDB. He loaded up over 1.1 billion taxi rides, which was this data set, onto 4 Xeon Phi CPUs from Intel. And he did some benchmarking, and it's really interesting what he got out of it. Here's some of the example benchmarks that he did. He also performed this benchmark on a lot of other technologies like Redshift and PostSQL. So I'll include the link to the blog when the slides are being sent out if you want to go and have a read of it. And this really highlights as well the easy to use syntax of K3. So in the first one, we got select count 1B by cab type from trips. So what this is essentially doing is just counting how many different types of trips there were, how many different types of cabs there were in all of the trips data. So Mark loaded in all of this data that the taxi and limousine company released, and he created this table called trips, which was essentially just a big table of all of the data, and then ran this, and it completed in 0.051 seconds. The next one shows that you can use mathematical functions really easily within Q. So that the average total amount by passenger count from trips, so what was the average price paid based on how many passengers are in the car. Select count 1B by year and passenger count from trips. So per year, the number of passengers in the car, how many trips were taken. And then the bottom one is similar as well to the third one, but it just groups it by the trip distance then as well. And when Mark performed these benchmarks, he found that they were the fastest out of any CPU-based technology that he had tried, and it was on the level with GPU-based technology. And for the third benchmark listed here, it actually set a record out of all of the technologies that he tested. So I have a quick video here that is basically a demo of this that Intel did.
You want to pack this, otherwise you won't get the audio. Yeah. Where is it? It doesn't have, so you can plug headphones.
Hi, I'm Rich with Inside HPC. We're here at SC16 in Salt Lake City, and this morning we're at the Intel Discovery Zone with Eric. How you doing, sir?
Good, thank you.
Welcome to Salt Lake City. Eric, maybe could you provide like kind of an overview of what you guys are showcasing here?
Sure, so here at the Discovery Zone, we wanted to be able to show some of the kind of advanced technologies that Intel is offering to help out the HPC community. So we're really focusing here on the Intel Xeon Phi processor, a great multi-core parallel processor, and our field programmable gate arrays, or what we more simply call FPGAs.
Okay, so you got technical demos here of those FPGAs doing what, computing? What are they doing?
Yeah, they're doing a variety of workloads. FPGAs are great because they can be used to accelerate compute, network, and storage, and we have demos that show that. We're also focusing on how FPGAs and Xeon Phi can be utilized to improve artificial intelligence, which is one of the hot topics today.
Definitely, that's been all over the show. Well, do you have a demo of like Xeon Phi, what it does?
Yeah, here's one that we have right here with a great partner of ours, KX System, and what they've done is they are doing high-performance data analytics utilizing data from 1.2 billion cab rides. So what they're showing right now is if you are trying to like figure out where to put your cabs, the dot is on Penn Station. So if you are arriving at Penn Station, you want to catch a cab, where is those cabs going? This shows the most common destinations, which include some of the ferry ports.
And that's real-time data getting fed into this?
Yeah, it's real-time data, and it's processing it in real time, and you can see it's taking about 1/4 of a second to analyze 1.2 billion cab rides and their destinations.
Okay, so, with all them cores on the Xeon Phi, I'm assuming that, timeliness is really important here. You wouldn't want this to take 5 minutes, right?
Right, and it's really what the power of artificial intelligence and Intel Xeon Phi can offer, is that you can get answers to more complicated problems faster than ever before. So that you can do more iterations and get better insights and impact your organization faster.
Okay, so that just briefly showed how technology has been used with Intel and in a partnership to create these third-party benchmarks. So as I said earlier, now that KX has sort of made a name for itself within the financial industry, it's progressing into other verticals because we now it works well with time series data. So in pharma with Purdue, KDB was used to analyze 16 years worth of patient record data, and it performed analytics that used to take 1 week, and it got the time taken to create those analytics down to 1 minute. And especially with all of the big data that's coming up in genomics, it's really, really interesting to see what KX is going to be able to do with this level of data. In space and telco, geospatial Earth observation is coming in, and really there was never anything there that was able to make use of this data or visualize it properly. But in Analyst, you can make geospatial maps which help analysing this form of data and performing calculations that previously couldn't be done. Within retail, with the Internet of Things becoming massive at the moment, there's a real push for real-time data analysis and string analytics there. Because if you think about it, in all the supermarkets around, there's electronic point-of-sale systems which are constantly taking in real-time data, and the need to be able to analyze this sort of stuff is massive. But that's just briefly some of the other industries that we're looking to go into. Probably one thing that's important for this sort of talk with the startup pitching session after is the KX Technology Fund. So recently KX announced that it would set up a technology fund that would help startups who want to be disruptive within the tech industry and get off the ground basically. So KX is providing access to data centers and hardware. It's also providing some sales and marketing support. So one of the hard things when you're a startup is really getting your name out there without having a full sales team behind you, or how do you create your own website and create enough collateral to make a name for yourself. So KX will help that. Logistical support as well. So if you're coming from a tech background, you won't really be thinking about the logistics of how making a startup works. Like, what sort of legal advice do you need, accounting, and then also access to international offices. So KX has offices in many of the large cities around the world. But how do you really get started working with Q and KDB, and where do you go to actually find some resources that you can work with? So there's a website called code.kx.com, which has a whole host of reference guides that can get you started working with Q. You can actually download a free 32-bit version of KDB Plus straight from here. So if you want to install that on your computer, go ahead, and then there's a guide called Q for Mortals Tree, which is fully available on that website that you can read through. There's also a large user community on GitHub, and I'll provide the URL for this page afterwards. But there's a lot of open source KX code that's up there that you can read, use, maybe contribute to. One of the good ones is Studio for KDB, which is an IDE that you can download. And then just, is there any students in the audience? Okay, so this slide isn't really relevant. So thanks very much for listening. I've listed some of the sites that I talked about here throughout the talk, so feel free to have a look. And my email address and phone number is there if you want to get in touch or ask any more questions. I'll just show you quickly how I can install Q on my laptop, perform a few queries, and just like to show how easy it is to configure and get up and running. So if you go to kx.com/download, this is where you can go to get the free 32-bit version of KDB, and you just enter in your email address and select what operating system you'd like to use. So that downloads the zip file that contains the binary for KDB in it. So I downloaded this earlier and unzipped it. And if you go in, within this folder, there's another folder called Q, which you essentially just copy and paste into your C directory. So I copy and pasted this Q file into my C directory. If you go in, there's a Windows 32-bit folder. If you go in again, there's a Q executable. So if you just open up the command line on Windows, and you just type in the path to the Q executable, it'll bring up a Q prompt and you can get going straight away. So that's as complicated as it gets when you're trying to set up Q and KDB Plus. You essentially just get the correct path. It's the same on Linux. Get the correct path to the Q executable once you've downloaded it, and then you have the full capabilities of the programming language available to you. So Zoom. Yeah, but I suppose I'll just leave it there. Is there any questions? Yeah.
You mentioned about another tool which can integrate with the database, which is for dashboarding, right?
Yeah.
What kind of I don't know, time series visualization is featuring?
So there's a whole host of widgets basically within dashboards. It's sort of a drag and drop sandbox almost, and you can create charts and playbacks of data over time, and that sort of thing within dashboards.
Thank you.
No problem.
Any other questions?
I think you mentioned very briefly, but how do you compare generally against Redshift?
Oh, so I actually haven't looked into it in that much detail. There's a lot more detail on the direct comparison with Redshift and KDB and Mark's blog. Yeah, so it goes into exactly how the benchmark was set up in a lot of nice detail. So that'll be the best place to go to see that.
Any more? Okay. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much.